This is my life update and engagement proposal story. I knew that's what was happening and I just lost it. Like, huh? What do you mean another surprise? I was like, what? This is already too much. Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So as you can probably tell from the title, this is my life update and engagement proposal story. I already filmed this video twice now. I'm filming it again now for the third time. Let's hope that this is the final time recording this video. But yeah, hi guys, welcome to today's video. So today's is just going to be all about the proposal and how it happened from my perspective, as well as like a couple photos. And yeah, we're just going to talk about how it all went down. If you guys don't know, my boyfriend, well now my fiance, his name is Connor. He is the absolute best man I've ever known. He is seriously wonderful. He has shown me a love and respect in a relationship that I knew existed because I've seen it before and I've witnessed it, but I never thought that I would be lucky enough to find, and I'm so grateful for him in the relationship that we have. He is genuinely, truly 100% my best friend. He treats me incredibly and I couldn't ask for more in a relationship, in a fiance, in a future husband, in a partner, in a father to my children in the future. I couldn't ask for anyone better, and I'm so freaking excited to be engaged and get to marry him. I had sensed that an engagement was coming because Connor was playing jokes on me for the last like 6 months. He's been joking around, well maybe not 6, but he's been joking around about things, just saying like, oh, you'll look so cute when you're at this event with a ring on your finger, or oh, what if you go to this person's wedding with a ring on your finger? And he was just joking, but it got me so tripped up that I never knew what was actually going on. I didn't know if I was gonna get engaged soon, if I wasn't, if it was happening tomorrow, if it was 6 months away. Like, I really didn't know. And so I think that is what helped me be so surprised. So we got engaged on Thursday, but the Monday before, he was like, hey, so we should go on a date next week. We haven't gone on a date in a little while. And a date to us is typically we'll either go to dinner or we'll go to happy hour, and then we'll come home, hang out, and then there's a trail that runs behind my house that has a couple different stopping points depending on how far you want to walk, but probably like a mile and a half in, there's this really nice hill with a beautiful view of my entire town. And so what we'll do is we'll go to dinner or happy hour or whatever, come home, maybe watch some TV, and then we'll take my dog and we will go walk that trail, and then we'll come back and just kind of like chill or do whatever. So that's a typical date for us. So when he said he wanted to do that sometime this week, I didn't think anything of it. We planned it for Thursday. Thursday rolled around, I babysat the kids in the morning, and I was free the rest of the day. Well, at like 10 a.m. my mom texted me and she was like, hey, I'm at yoga right now and I'm looking at my feet and my toes aren't painted and they look really ugly. I need to go get a pedicure. Do you want to meet me at the nail salon and you can get your nails done with me? And I was like, okay. I will never say no to getting my nails done. I love having my nails painted. It makes me feel so pretty. They're still painted. I just love it. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, like that's fine. I'll meet you there. Got my nails done. And my mom was being totally chill. Like, I didn't think anything. And she was just asking, what are your plans for the rest of the day? And I told her, you know, I have a bunch of homework to do around happy hour-ish time. Connor's gonna come up and pick me up and we're gonna go to happy hour, and that's really all we have planned. And she was like, okay, cool, sounds good. Like, I'm assuming you'll be eating dinner at the restaurant, so I'll just plan on me and like your dad and your brother just having leftovers for dinner. I came home, did a little bit of homework, and then I started getting ready. And around like 3 o'clock, Connor called me and was like, hey, I'm on the way home from work. And another thing that's weird now looking back at it, he kept telling me like, I'm gonna come home early from work Thursday. I'm gonna come home early. Don't worry, I'll be home early. And I was like, what the heck? Like, how do you know you're gonna get off early? Like, you can't guarantee that they're gonna let you leave. But I didn't think anything of it. I remember thinking that was kind of weird that he was so adamant that he was gonna be able to get off work early, but I didn't think that this was the reason. So we went to a restaurant called the View House, which I'll insert pictures of here. If you live in Colorado, you should totally check it out. It's pretty expensive, but if you go at happy hour, it's not too bad, and it's beautiful. Like, the view is gorgeous. You can sit outside. It's just so nice. We decided to go there, and we each just got an appetizer and like some drinks and just had a good time. I did notice while we were on our date that he was being really quiet, which is not like him at all. He's so talkative, and so I kept asking like, you okay? Like, you're really quiet. He was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm just tired from work, had a long day. Like, I'm just tired. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I get quiet when I'm tired too. So I just didn't really think anything of it. And then as we were getting ready to leave the restaurant, his friend David called him. And David and Connor have been best friends since they were really little. They're one of those friendships where they don't have to talk every day, but when they do talk, they're still just as close as they were. But for him to call, I was like, David doesn't call that often. Like, that's weird. Well, come to find out, he was calling to see if Connor had proposed yet, but Connor hadn't. And so Connor like rejected his call and was like, I'll just call him back later. And I was like, are you sure? Like, are you sure everything's okay with David? And he was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Like, I'll just call him back. And I was like, okay. So we come back to my house. We're watching Friends in my room, which is my favorite show. I'd never actually watched the whole thing through, so I'm watching it for the first time, but I love it. And it was actually the episode where Ross is getting married, but during the vows, he accidentally says Rachel's name. We're watching that, and the whole time we were watching it, his phone was blowing up. It was just going off. And so I was like, Mr. Popular, like, who's texting you? And he was like, oh, it's just David, or it's just my mom, or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. It was probably about like 6 o'clock, and Connor was like, okay, like, let's go get ready for our hike. And I was like, well, we always go on the hike like at like sunset, and sunset now isn't until like 8:30, 9 p.m. And he was very adamant about the fact that we needed to go like right now. And I was like, okay. So we went downstairs, and I took Daisy out onto our back deck to like get her harness and everything on that she wears when we walk her. And so I was out there putting that on her, and Connor was like, I'm gonna run inside, go to the bathroom, and I'll come back and get you and we can go on the walk. Come to find out, he didn't go to the bathroom. He ran inside, grabbed my camera, and ran outside. My best friend Sarah was in her car outside. He gave her the camera, told her how to work it, then ran back inside and came and got me and acted like he just went to the bathroom. And so Connor and I walked to the trail, and we got up to the top, and I just felt weird. Like I knew it was happening. Things were like fine at first, but I was standing with like my back like against his chest, so my back was to him. I couldn't see him, and he had his arms around me like this, and he was like, Abby, and I was like, yes. And he was like, you know I love you, right? And I knew this what was happening, and I just lost it. I just started crying. I knew it was happening, and I remember like covering my face like this, and I was just crying. My back was to him, and so he was like, turn around, like just turn around. And I was like, no, I couldn't do it. Like I was like, nope, I'm not turning around, and I was just like standing like this, and eventually I was like crouched down on the ground, holding my face, crying, because I was like, I knew what was happening. And the thought of turning around and see him proposing made me cry more. So eventually I turned around, and when I did, I saw a person in purple leggings, that's all I remember, with a camera, and I thought it was just some random photographer. I like turned back around. I was crying more because of the fact that there was someone there taking pictures, and he was like, no, like turn around, face me. And so finally, it felt like an eternity, but it was probably like 30 seconds. I turned around, and there he was on one knee proposing and all of that. I of course said yes, and I was just so excited. And probably like 5 minutes go by, and then all of a sudden he's like, aren't you gonna say hi to Sarah? And I looked to my left, and the person holding the camera is my best friend. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I started crying more because I was so excited that she was there, and she came over and gave us both a big hug and like wanted to see the ring. And it was so special that not only that happened, but that she was there to be with us, because she's my best friend, but she's also spent a lot of time around Connor and I and seen our relationship develop. She like wanted to take a couple more pictures, so she got a few. And then we were getting ready to leave, and she realized her keys were gone. And so we spent like 30 minutes digging around in like the grass and the shrubbery and the trees and trying to find her keys. And eventually she was like, okay, you guys need to go. And as we're going to walk away, she saw her keys. So of course, 30 minutes later, she grabbed the keys, and we're walking back, and she kept wanting to stop and take pictures. And Connor was like, okay, like, Abby, we'll get an engagement session if photos done. Like, don't worry about taking more pictures right now. Let's go, because we got another surprise waiting. And I was like, huh? What do you mean another surprise? I was like, what? This is already too much. As we're walking back, and I start seeing that there's cars parked outside of my house that I recognize, and I realized that it was our friends' cars. I'd mentioned this like once or twice to Connor before when he'd asked me like what my dream proposal was. I said I didn't really have anything in mind other than it would be cool if pictures were taken, and I thought it would be really special to have like an engagement party immediately after getting engaged, like having everyone there to celebrate and party with us. And so I realized that he'd remembered that, which I didn't even think he would remember. Get to my house, I open up the front door, and my entire family, like my parents, my brother, my friend Teresa, which her husband works with Connor, and their daughter came. Connor's coworker Travis came. His wife was out of town, so her and I like FaceTime. Two of Connor's coworkers that are like two single guys came as well. When we got there, everyone was there to celebrate with us, and it's funny because my mom had mentioned earlier that we were just gonna have leftovers for dinner. Well, that was not true. They had a whole bunch of hamburgers and hot dogs and chips, and my mom ordered a cake and had balloons, and I'll insert any pictures I have here. It was so perfect. So our friends that have really like spent a lot of time around our relationship and were the closest to were there, and that was just so special, and it was so nice to get to celebrate with my favorite people. Connor's family lives out of state. They couldn't be there, but we got to call and talk to them on the phone, and they were in on the whole thing, of course. So the whole day and weeks and months leading up to it, all of our friends knew, Sarah knew, my parents knew, like he asked their permission, his parents knew, his siblings knew, like even my grandma knew. So excited. And yeah, it's been, is today Thursday? It's been a week today, so it's been wonderful. I still feel like I'm on cloud 9. Yeah, that is the proposal story. The next video in this little like wedding video series thing that I'm gonna do. I'll do a Q&A. I'm gonna try and get Connor to do it with me. I'm not sure. A Q&A just about the engagement, the proposal, the wedding, all that good stuff. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe to this channel because we have so much fun stuff coming. I've convinced Connor to start vlogging with me, which I'm so excited about. We just have so much excitement in our life right now. So we just got engaged. Hopefully by the end of the month or the beginning of July, we will be moved out into an apartment, so that's exciting. We have a couple different trips happening throughout the summer and wedding planning, just so much good stuff. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video and you want to see more of this little like wedding series, engagement series thing, give this video a thumbs up. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching.